the ecosystem to overseas opportunities. So this afternoon, as part of our efforts to bring our startups, SME and corporates together, the Digital Transformation Exchange is a series of events to help SME and corporates understand what are some of the current digital trends and innovative technologies from startups. So we are very excited about featuring these 4 startups this afternoon and their innovative technologies. We have Resync, With Air, Loretta, and Vox. So would you please join me to give them a very warm welcome? All right, so connecting startups and our ecosystem to overseas markets and opportunities is an important part of our work. And in 2019, we established the ACE Nanjing International Center, located at the Nanjing Eco City, which is in Jiangsu Province, China. The purpose of our center in Nanjing Eco City Island is really to help startups to establish a beachhead in China. So the International Center is also part of a government-to-government project between China and Singapore. And this afternoon, we are very happy to have Isabel Yeo from the Sino-Singapore Nanjing Eco High-Tech Island Development to brief us on some of the key opportunities that we can look forward to for our startups, SME, and corporates. So would you please also join me to give Isabel a warm welcome? So with this, I shall hand over the time to Antron. Thank you, everyone. Back to you, Antron.
Thank you, Brian. So our next speaker is Isabel, Chief Representative of Sino-Singapore Nanjing Eco High-Tech Island. She will be sharing more about the development in the island, the initiative and programs, as well as the business opportunities that are available in Nanjing. Isabel, please, over to you.
Thank you. Allow me to share my screen. Are you all able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you, ACE, for giving us this opportunity today to share with you some of our project opportunities in the Singapore Nanjing Eco High-Tech Island. So ACE is our partner both in Singapore as well as in Nanjing, where Brian has shared earlier on that we have the ACE Nanjing International Center on our island itself. Let me do this full screen. Okay. Okay. So I believe you can see my slides, right? So because of the also short time being given today, I will not go into a lot of details, but just to highlight or give some very brief background of Nanjing, in case some of you are not too familiar with Nanjing itself. Nanjing is actually the capital of Jiangsu Province, where we are at the Yangtze River Delta. So these are just some of the basic economic figures that we have. As in all major cities in China, as you know, we have the usual FDIs from big companies like Samsung, Ford, IBM, and so forth. But increasingly, these few years, the China major tech companies are rising in both strength, in power, and in technology. And so, of course, we have the major tech companies, major China tech companies like Huawei, Lenovo, Tencent, Alibaba, all are based in Nanjing as well. Just to highlight some of the key industry focus, where a lot of government support and initiatives are being given, including the new energy vehicles, which is very hot nowadays, the EVs, the AVs, the ICs, AI and IoT, ICT, and biomech. So all these industry clusters is expected or target to have a scale size of at least 300 to 500 billion RMB in the next 3 to 5 years. So what supports this whole development or gives a justification for such development is besides being in the Nanjing being in the strategic location, to Yangtze River Delta, where we have the hinterland, reaching out to more than 34 million population, which is at least this consumer market size. And of course, connecting to the major cities in the northern part of Jiangsu Province, we have a very large pool of talent pool. I wouldn't say low cost or cheap, because nowadays manpower is no longer cheap in China, as you all know, but I would say it's value for money. So value for money, we have a large pool of all these researchers, engineers, where we have more than 850,000 university students a year, and we have our connections and collaboration with more than 53 learning institutes, research centers, and so forth. And where our project is, we are situated at the Nanjing Jianye District. Jianye District is the new digital economy and financial hub of Nanjing itself. So as you can see, 8 out of China's 10 top digital economy enterprises have already settled within this district itself, where our project is based. So including the bigger names like Alibaba, Xiaomi, Tencent, DTE, and all that, and ByteDance, and now of course the very hot Bilibili as well. As I mentioned, we are at this Jianye, which is the financial hub of Nanjing itself. We have more than 700 financial institutions, more than 600 investment institutes, funds, and so forth. This is very important because it forms this whole ecosystem where companies, not only startups, when they want to source for fundings or potential investors for future growth, this is also one of the key financial ecosystems that we are building up to support such growth. So to give you a perspective of where we are, our project is at the Yangtze River in Jianye district. This is the largest FDI project in Nanjing, and we are under the township project under the Singapore Jiangsu Corporation Council, as well as the Singapore Nanjing Special Corporation Panel. So as you can see, we have blessing of both sides government, both China and Singapore government. And our target investment of 100 billion, so far we have invested more than 40 billion RMB to build this whole island or this project into a ecological, that means the word nowadays is sustainable, high-tech, low-carbon, smart island. It's a G2G project. It's a 50-50 project between China and Singapore. Singapore side, we have Sembcorp and Yanlong as a major shareholders. In China, the other 50% is held by 2 state-owned companies. So as you can see, we have the resources and connections to outreach both the China and Singapore government. So to give a perspective of how big we are actually about 3 times the size of Sentosa, a total land area about 15.21 square kilometer. Our 2 major focus will be on AI, IoT application, as well as water science technology. So besides being a township development, an integrated township development where we have commercial offices, the hotels, shopping centers, and so forth, our major industry will also include ICT, the ecological environmental protection industry. Now, of course, besides the modern services, we have cultural and even tourism. And why tourism is because we have a YOG site, Youth Olympic Games site that is left over where we're going to develop into a more tourism related initiatives. So these are some of the projects that are already landed on our island. Of course, on the bigger names like Huatai Securities, the China bigger names, the Tencent, the iFlyTech, 科大讯飞, 海客飞, 新航科技, which is Transwarp, and also some of the biggest names. But we also have the CIC, which is very important. It's a China Industry Information Security Research Center, because our whole island is slated to be the smart city, and where big data and information security is very important. And of course, you have the US, NVIDIA, and of course our partner ACE, which have the ACE International Center on our island as well. So as we mentioned just now, we leverage on 2 major platforms, the Jiangsu Singapore Corporation Council, as well as the Singapore Nanjing Special Project Corporation Panel, with 2 major highlights of our island. We're focusing on AI, of course, not only China Congress, but every year we will have also International Artificial Intelligence Summit. And the other portion will be the water science technology, which is also led by IWA. IWA is an International Water Association with the HQ in UK, London. So in 2018, our project is slated to be the Smart City Application Zone for Nanjing. So what this means is that we are given special AI policy, government support policies to attract AI, big data, cloud computing, IoT, chip R&D, smart city application companies to develop this whole ecosystem, where our project is the Smart City Application Zone. So we are integrated all the different components, not only in the commercial, community, the government, city, center, big data, but also different parts of everyday life, including medical, education, financial, transport, tourism, and even flood prevention. So how this works is that we have carved out into 8 major AI application areas, and these are some of them, basically into smart ecological, smart education, smart campus, smart community, smart security, smart transport, our high-tech part, smart buildings, smart tourism, and so forth. So far, we have started 4 application areas, and these projects are still ongoing. And I would like to share with you some of this today. I may not, given the short time given, I may not be able to go down into a lot of details, but to just give you a very broad idea of what we have and ongoing. So if you have any technology or any of your company products or services that are able to participate or deploy, we are very happy that you can approach us later on or follow up with us later on. So the first one I'm going to share today is on Smart High-Tech Park. So this project is led by Tencent. Basically, it incorporates the IoT devices, the AI algorithms into not only smart buildings, that means not only HVACs and energy efficient buildings, but also incorporating the investment platform, the personal everyday daily life services platform, the park services, and even incorporating all the AI robots into cleaning, surveillance, security, and so forth. So we are building this whole sustainable, basically it's an end-to-end system to incorporate work, life, play into a very smart environment, incorporating, for example, the smart conference room, the smart utilization using real-time AI algorithms to calculate and giving recommendations to decision makers on how to utilize the car park better for better revenue and time saving. And then, of course, we have all the different AI integrating into the IoT devices for intelligent energy management system, your everyday life and your everyday work life. The second application that I would like to share with you today is on smart transport. This smart transport project has been started since end last year and still ongoing. So far, we have incorporated WeRide, which is autonomous shuttle bus, as well as robotaxi on our island for deployment. And of course, it's still ongoing. And this is led by Nanjing Big Data Government Bureau, which supports this whole traffic mapping and integration and approval for smart transport system. So basically, if your company has, let's say, V2X technology, MAAS system that integrates the full process and payment system into the different public transport as well as the private transport, and of course, all the different areas and the value chain of a whole smart transport project, you can also approach us later on because this project is still ongoing and we welcome companies to participate on our island as well. So basically, we have 3 MRT lines that's on our island. So far, one of them, line 10, has already started and operating for the last 3 years. So we are incorporating like MRT lines, rural transport into, let's say, autonomous bus, the shared car system, bicycle system, and so forth. Basically, is we are doing the V2X integration and using cloud system and basically incorporating both batch data that we have collected, including the landscaping, the road conditions, the traffic conditions, into real-time live information, including the passenger, the pedestrian, the traffic flow conditions, so that there will be no blind spots, and integrating all this V2X system to give deployment to different scenarios, including, just as I mentioned, the autonomous shuttle buses, the logistic auto delivery vehicles, auto sanitation, auto security, so forth. So I mentioned our concept is to build a cloud-based cloud control platform with our 5G networks that's ready on our island, implemented on our island, to have a CV2X cloud V2X networks, and pulling in the different intelligent road applications, including vehicle communication and computing, the multi-dimensional perspective, to give end solutions, to give end applications in terms of, let's say, smart buses, future assisted driving for future travel, the smart transportation, and so forth. So what we are doing this, the objective of why we are doing all this is to have 3 main objectives. First, of course, is the accumulation of assets and our information and our knowledge, to have an open data process, to build this smart transport into the city management system itself for the government. And of course, we are encouraging by doing so. We are having a pilot, a zone application cases for companies and new technologies to innovative applications for their testing and test bed, for even digital twin governance, your adaptive signaling, your 5G applications to all the different devices. And the most important thing is that we want to leverage on our investment promotion policies of the island and the government support to attract all these AI, big data, and R&D enterprises to develop on our island and use us as a platform for their China expansion. The third application case, which I'm going to share with you today, is on Smart Community Park. So this project we have just started and we just launched recently. So if you have any application deployment, ideas or technology that your company has, be it whether you're a corporate, you're a SME, or you're a startup, you can feel free to contact us later on. These are just some of the project renderings that we have. Basically, is to have a multiple experience across all the different age groups. The combination of the interactive play and the smart applications in different areas, be it the intelligent voice of the forest, or a smart outdoor fitness, smart playground, integrating the AR, VR, intelligent navigation, or even the intelligent artificial fort, or even interactive light installation, and there are a lot more. So if your company is doing any of such solutions or technology and would like to participate in all these deployment opportunities, you can approach us later on. And because of the given today is the time period is very short, I may not be able to share with you a lot of project details, but just like to give me a couple of minutes more to share with you some of the good news that we have and some of the support and initiatives that we have. So since end October last year, during the Singapore Nanjing Special Project Cooperation Panel, we are being conferred the FTZ Zone Nanjing Area Linkage Innovation Development Zone. This whole word, so what does it mean? It means that we are able to enjoy FTZ policies in terms of especially foreign investment, foreign funds coming in, foreign trade, talents, exchanges, and so forth. And this is very important because we are building this whole smart ecosystem to attract also not only the local government incentive and policies, but also foreign funds. For example, in end November last year, we managed to bring in Temasek Vertex to have an MOU signed between with our local Nanjing Government Industry Fund for co-matching. So we are in the process of finalizing the fund size and the implementation, and we are attracting a lot more, not only Singapore funds, but also foreign, other European funds coming in as well. So this is very important because this provides a whole ecosystem value chain to allow startups, to allow companies to grow and expand in China. Besides the local talent attraction policy, our AI government support policies, FDZ policies, and so forth, we have also launched, our company have also launched a SNECO Industry Support Fund of 300 million. And we just recently launched this month. So it's basically to support technology companies that is going to set up on our island for the expansion in China. So if you're interested to know more, please feel free to contact us later on. And just to give you a very, very brief broad idea of the township that we are developing, and these are all the different public amenities, supporting amenities that we have built. But this is not only to show you that we are a very livable place, but also all these pilot projects, or I say deployment projects, where your company can leverage on to deploy. For example, the smart education, the smart campus, you can have smart training software, or even smart schools infrastructure to be implemented. And we provide one-stop services here, be it your site selection, your government policies, consultation, your project decorations coming in. You want to leverage and want to use our funds for support for further expansion to China. You want to tap on our VC funds, your IP registration, and so forth. So we provide all these one-stop services here, free of charge to all of you here. And because of short period, so if you have any questions, or you are very keen to know more and would like to participate in our project, please feel free to contact us later on. Thank you. Over back to you, Anton.
All right. Thank you, Isabel. Very, very great sharing, about the development in the island initiative, as well as the business opportunities that they can tap on by going with SNECO. So shout out to all participants. If you are keen, please reach out to Isabel. And let us now move on to the next 4 technology innovators who will be sharing more about their solutions. Our next speaker is Emre, CEO and co-founder of Racing Technologies. So over to you, Emre.
Yeah, thank you, Antron. Thanks everyone for attending the call. I'll be sharing a few slides about what we do at Racing in order to provide energy efficient solutions. Just give me a minute. Can you see my screen?
Yep. All good.
Okay, cool. So my name is Amir. I'm one of the co-founders of Resync and CEO. We are based in Singapore, and we provide intelligent energy management solutions which are enhanced by AI and machine learning models. The whole reason of why we started all this development, as you know, the whole energy infrastructure is going through a drastic transformation. And this transformation is mainly driven by a few factors like drastically dropping price of renewables, solar, wind energy, digitalization of the whole ecosystem with internet access almost everywhere, with smart meters, with IoT devices, adoption of energy storage systems like batteries, electric vehicles, and of course, implementation of AI and machine learning models for the automation purposes. So for all these four pillars driving traditional grid towards what we call smart grid or smart city solutions. And at the heart of this transformation lays the data. So whichever company using their data efficiently can provide up to 30% of their savings on their energy usages. And that's the reason why we started Resync. So we provide cutting edge technology, which is enhanced by in-house developed AI and machine learning models. We ensure that we create fully reliable infrastructure in terms of data aggregation, processing, storing, and then feeding it to the customer. And we made it affordable so it can be used by MNCs, but at the same time can be used by SMEs. We can scale our solution from one site to thousands of sites in a matter of few days. So it's very scalable and easily scalable solution. We are fully cloud-based, so we are based in Singapore, but we serve customers across different markets. And we can customize our solution depending on our customer needs. A bit overview how our solution looks like. So we are fully cloud-based solution, which can be implemented at individual stakeholders, be it an IoT asset owner, or be it a smart home or smart building solution, or it's a power plant, solar power plant or wind power plant. But at the same time, we can integrate the entire city and be a virtual power plant. So we done some projects where we engaged one customer for entire campus. So we made a smart campus solution, and we engage different type of solutions for the same customer for the same smart campus. And then we aggregated everything on a cloud, and on a cloud we do different type of analytics, machine learning models, and then provide that information to the end user. Our main core product is our analytics platform, which basically compatible with all tier 1 hardware manufacturers. So we work with Huawei, Schneider Electric, ABB, SMA, you name it. But at the same time, if end customer requires end-to-end solution, we are happy to provide end-to-end solutions. So we have some hardware devices that we can integrate within our solution. And one of them is Resync Omega, which is our IPC device. It's industrial gateway, which can connect up to 50 devices in parallel and take real-time control actions. At the same time, we have Resync Gamma, which is smart power plug, which can aggregate the data of your energy usage for that specific plug, send it to our cloud, and we can basically analyze it and provide you the real-time performance and usage of your energy. We started our journey with focus on renewable asset management, because that's where the prior knowledge of the founders coming from. But then we expanded to smart building solutions. In fact, we received a grant by Energy Market Authority of Singapore to commercialize our solution within Singapore market. We also serve customers from telecom business, where we help them to manage their telco towers. And we done some projects on EV and mobility, where we help customers to manage their fleets. We also have some projects where we manage remote and off-grid sites like microgrids, and we do small VPP on those nanogrids. One of the unique value propositions that we do with our artificial intelligence solution is, be it for household or commercial industrial buildings, we can tell you in real time when are you using, what type of asset you are using, and at what capacity you are using without installing any additional hardware. So imagine at your household, nowadays you're getting your electricity bill only once a month. But we are able to tell you in real time what is your energy usage and what type of assets it operates without installing any kind of hardware. And same thing we can do for the buildings. We can disaggregate basically different assets, be it a data center, be it energy appliance, be it a HVAC system, and tell you in real time what is the usage, what are the performances, whether the predictive maintenance is required, and etc. We made our solution for renewables as well, where we manage quite a big portfolio. As you can see, we have around 600 megawatt peak solar assets that we're managing, distributed across more than 20 customers in 7 countries. We processed millions and millions of data. These are some snaps of our solution where we help customers to do predictive maintenance, heat map analysis, forecasting of asset performances. We dive deeper into the component level details, and we provide facility management tools where you can organize your team, you can basically assign jobs, and etc. We are a B2B company. We charge one-time integration cost, and then it's an annual subscription, depending on what type of assets you are integrating and what capacity. These are some of our customers who are using and partners who are using our solution. We are a fully techie team, myself, my co-founder, both coming from the energy backgrounds, and the rest of the team is mainly focusing on the software integration, machine learning optimization, data science, IoT engineering, and etc. So that's a quick overview of how we use AI for energy efficiency solutions. If you have any questions or you would like to find out more, please reach out to us and I'll be happy to talk to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Emre, for providing such an insightful sharing on your solutions, as well as the energy sector and how they can leverage upon your technology to aid their business. And let's move on. Our next speaker is Natalia, founder and CEO of WeFair. Natalia, over to you, please.
Thank you very much. To see everyone today, thank you for coming. I'm sharing the slides, so hopefully you see it. Just 2 seconds. Sorry. Sorry, having a few technical issues.
No worries, take your time, Natalia. Just enlarge it.
Okay, I think it should be good now. Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to see you today. My name is Natalia, and I'm a co-founder and CEO of WeFair. I spent over 10 years as an engineer building solutions for smart cities and also for management of buildings and transportation systems. And what I discovered is that throughout our cities, we still have a lot of problems that sometimes we don't recognize them, but it's very dangerous for us. Over 70% of the ventilation systems that we measured have problems with energy waste, expensive maintenance that is reactive and not predictive, as well as contamination that is affecting our health every day. And it is especially critical right now as we are still recovering from this current pandemic and working to make buildings healthier. It's critical for us to take actions and to make our systems smarter and more efficient. But still, we have many unanswered questions every time we travel, we go out, we even spend time at our offices. How well is the cleaning done? How effective is the purifier installed? And how safe is my taxi or travel or the car or public transport? So this is all critical questions and we need answers. In addition, right now, after speaking to many building operators in Singapore, in Europe, in North America, we found that there is still processes right now are expensive for solving these problems. It's time consuming and it's not predictive. So we need to improve the way we are doing things now. And so this is why WeFair exists. We combine high accuracy monitoring software and sensors to improve safety, reduce maintenance costs, and make our buildings more cost efficient and run them in a more efficient way. Our end-to-end solution is composed of predictive software and IoT, which we deploy throughout the buildings. It diagnoses the efficiency of the ventilation system. It detects pollution hazards and also thermal comfort. So it's a very holistic tool to help you track how well your building is performing. Through this, we are able to offer cost and energy savings, as well as information that leads to reputation benefits and increased revenue from the bookings and from the customers who are staying longer and booking more of the spaces. This results in ROI within 6 months and 10x ROI within 18 months. So our sensors and software provide accurate tracking and prediction for any anomalies that we detect within the space. But it doesn't just do that. It enables integration with different systems, such as filtration systems, air conditioning and purification solution, maintenance services, and building automation that allows us to improve safety and air quality by ensuring the right air exchange, ensuring the right filter choice, and also optimizing how those devices are used so we can also save energy. Which brings me to the next slide, which is how we save energy. So we combine the same information to be able to track how well the ventilation systems are working based on the occupancy data, air quality data, and thermal data. And this allows us to help operators track and improve their energy efficiency and also qualify for different certification systems, for example, GRES, Green Mark, and others. What is unique about the solution? There is 3 components. One is the sensors, which we develop in-house and manufacture as well. They track people, they track air quality, they track ventilation and air conditioning system. We combine this data from the sensors and put it in our proprietary algorithms that allow us to diagnose problems faster and with more accuracy. And then we are able to advise the operators on the energy efficiency, on the air filtration solutions, on the maintenance, and also how the space is used. What makes it different from other products on the market? Compared to traditional system, which is usually very expensive to deploy at scale, and they cannot predict problems, Weaver allows to provide inexpensive and more predictive solution compared to other IoT solution on the market, which is kind of siloed in different areas, whether it's energy efficiency, air quality, ventilations, or property tech. Weaver is more holistic. It tracks many metrics that can enable improvements across those different areas. It enables faster decisions, improved accuracy, and reduce maintenance costs. So what does it do for the customers? Well, it's able to achieve 10 to 20x return per project. So reduces cost, for example, energy savings, air conditioning failure prevention, reducing risks such as COVID, hazards, mold, and others. It also increases revenue. So we noticed through our data that if we can show this information to the people staying in office buildings, to people staying in hotels, it actually increases bookings, both in terms of duration and frequency. So it is additional revenue source that can be increased for the customers. It is easy to install and fast. So each device takes about 10 minutes to install. It can be enabled by 4G connectivity or connect to other networks as well. And it can be integrated with security, messaging, and other systems. We are currently working on this solution for primarily air quality and energy, but we have other products in the pipeline, including a new detector for smoke and smoking in particular, as well as new detector for the biohazards such as virus and bacteria. And we're doing that in Singapore and Korea. And also we are developing new integrations for control system, BIM, in ESG certification. Currently, we are talking to 4 main industry operators, including hospitality and commercial, transportation, healthcare, and F&B. And those already are either in progress or we are piloting with them already. There is some of the customers we are currently working with, as well as our partners. And we are our operation is based in Singapore, Canada, and South Korea. And we also hold projects in other places in Europe and also South America. Some case studies: we deployed the solution in Metro Barcelona and Seoul Metro, inside the trains and inside the stations, and seen improvements in air quality. We also put the solution inside the hotels, improve the safety of people during stay-home notice and also quarantine hotels, as well as staycation. Look at the building operations in commercial buildings and mixed-use buildings, also improving the cost savings and helping them run more efficiently. We have received many awards, including those from ADB, as well as most recently ACE. Thank you very much for your support. And working also supported by Techstars and several other organizations on smart city and transportation and also building improvements. Our vision is to make buildings as well as cities at large more resilient. And we are working with right now the building operator, transportation operators, and also building resilient destinations as well. Currently, we are also looking for partners. So if you're interested in what we are doing and are in the space of facility management or transportation management, are doing system integration or looking to support the new standards, please approach me. So we are very interested to collaborate together. Thank you very much. And I look forward to working with you to make our cities healthier and more sustainable, because every breath counts. Thank you.
Thank you, Natalia, for sharing your solutions and the importance of having air quality by using sensors technology to drive businesses, example in the facilities management and buildings areas. Thank you so much. And our next speaker is Galvin, CEO of Loretta IO. Galvin, over to you, please.
Hey, thanks everyone. So just give me a second to share my screen. So hi everyone, my name is Galvin. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Loretta IO. Today we're going to talk about why smart buildings need to understand the reason and the intent that the occupants are there. Right. So a little bit about our company first. So we provide behavior AI using your existing camera systems to infer your occupants' actions, behaviors, and intent within the context of the building, allowing you to react to it in real time. Our biggest industries are security, industrial management, property, analytics. We won a bunch of awards, one of which is with ACE, that is the Singapore Discovery Center Innovation Challenge last year. Thank you very much, ACE, for supporting us on that. We also won a couple of others, the MIT COVID Challenge, Slingshot. We won the top 2 urban solution finalists, and we were featured in a couple of other places, such as CBS Boston, and supported by the Draper Lab in MIT in the US. We have a bunch of customers, about 14 of them right now, and a fairly large ARR pipeline. So we've been in the country, we've been in this space for about 4 years now. We're also the DHS Apex program, that is the program for screening at the edge, so screening security, only partner in CCTVs. And this is significant because one of the things about AI is that you rarely see an AI company promise to replace security guards. The DHS has certified us to replace up to 90% of security guards at a TSA screening center. And so the replacement of people who are not allowed to make mistakes is something that we wanted to achieve. And the very simple idea is do the hard things first, do the simple things later. So a little bit about smart cities. So with smart cities, there are many aspects, but at the very backbone of smart cities is smart buildings. And with a smart building, you tend to have technologies that can cover the entire gamut of the building, because despite the fact that you may have trucks in there, you might have logistics, you might have services, and you might have shopping, the core of smart buildings is the context of the location is a very, very significant component to the activities that are being done in the location, right? So moving an item, right, like shipping an item within a shopping mall has a very, very different narrative. Very likely it's not your item versus in an industrial center where you're talking productivity. In this case, you might be talking intent, and it's a very, very different narrative there. With that narrative in place, the real question that you have to ask with people in the analytics and computer vision sector is, what are we missing if we don't understand the intent of the person within that space? And so with data, then you kind of end up with 2 major narratives, which is the ubiquity of the sensor. So are you installing a lot of new sensors, and the richness of the sensor? So if the sensor is sufficiently data rich, such as those provided by WeVer and Resync, then yes, you can install them on your own. If not, then if you're doing things like PIR sensors, tripwires, or people counters, and I know you have to do it because you need to report your read data, right? You need to report your account, your occupancy, and so on. Perhaps there's a better way. And with us, we see that your camera systems provide one of the richest data sources across a large space, and they're already there. You had to put them there. Let's use what you already have. The other thing I want to mention is this. If you start with the simplest problems like facility management, cleaning, and so on, there is a good chance that you never get to the highest ROI problems. So today, our return on investment is approximately 40 days. So the day you install the system, within 40 days, you could pay off the entire system, installation, and the rest of the year. And so that's one of the things that we need to consider when we are making the major step of trying to create a smart building out of our existing buildings. And so a reason why I'm speaking so fast is I have a minute of video to show you. So maybe just watch this for a while. So of course, the basic hygiene factors, social distancing, you can see the people in the space, and not every single time where a person is near each other. It's only when they are speaking and interaction that you should consider it a social distancing event. Likewise, in this case, we are looking at the compliance activity. This is a screening activity where if he places his knife in the box, it is accepted. But even if we identify for a moment the micro gesture of flipping your hand outwards, we identify that as non-compliant behavior. It's essentially hiding the tool. This, of course, has been implemented. And if I just stop here for a while, you'll see that Singapore, although it's a place where people are walking, we are able to segregate people who are standing idly versus standing in line, walking while walking and talking. And these things are important because it allows us to identify things like the handphone searching in front of your shop, to know whether they are not interested or checking the price of Lazada when they're in front of your mall. And these are the key narratives that you want to be able to capture. That allows us to then provide a system where we can provide full mesh renders of the humans, allowing us to create full human digital twins. And for the very high security requirements, these are some of the things that we do for our clients, where every single person is mimicked to the point where we can capture their entire digital sense and simulate them in the environment that you want. With that, we provide certain interesting services. For example, in this data-driven persona that we provide for our retail clients, you will see, for example, that as of today, in this particular shopping mall, 14% of the people who are entering that place are delivery drivers. The amount of money that they spend is zero, because FYI, if you buy on the Grab app, it doesn't appear in your POS, it doesn't appear in your GMV, it doesn't appear in your monthly gross value of that particular shopping mall. So if 14% of the people, 40% of all the attendants, which could be as many as 40% of the 20 to 30-year-old crowd within your shopping mall are providing zero value, does that change the narrative of the marketing analytics that you're getting that says people are spending less money in the shop? Perhaps it does. And so that's really why the intent of why they are there is far more important than the fact that they are there at all. Taking that into account, with the predictive capability, you will see here something very fascinating in the industrial use case of tool, which is that you will see that in this case, they're identifying a person who is near a forklift. But if you realize this video begins 4 seconds before the forklift comes into view. And so this is where the predictive component is able to identify where all of the items come into play. We know where the people come from, and we can capture the incident even before it happens. They allow, with this system, which happens in real time, integrated with Telegram, we can show this video live to the site manager. You can customize the message, and you can analyze the locations where these things done. This user in particular decided, after looking at the analytics, rather than increasing number of site man hours that are there, they decided with the analytics that once the place is operating beyond 6 p.m., that they will add physical barriers. And so the time and narrative of the location allow us to do a very, very low cost solution to reduce the number of security impact, reduce the number of security violations without any impact to the actual existing processes. Because we are people who are able to capture so much data of the occupant, we also believe in the smart city ethical approach. We capture absolutely zero personally identifiable information, and at the same time, we work very hard to make the gray area of PDPC and your personal data into black and white. So we stand on both sides of the aisle, making sure that we are able to operate in a country that respects you as well as works for you, right? Rather than say that there's a trade-off, we can find a common place. And that's kind of narrative that we have. So that is us, Loretta.io. We provide behavior analytics on your cameras, and we provide insight beyond sight. If you are interested in working with us, please contact us after this meeting. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gavin. Great sharing again, on how businesses can improve their security and capturing these data through behavioral movement by leveraging your solution. Right, and our last speaker is Alan, founder and CEO of VOOX. So Alan, over to you, please.
Thanks, Antron. I'm just, okay. I think I have control of my slides. Yeah. Hello, everyone.
Right.
Thank you. I guess I'm the last one between you and the weekend. So just a quick introduction about ourselves. Myself is Alan Fu, founder and CEO for VOOX. The team already started from China. We started the organized team in 2016, and we've moved back to Singapore in 2020. As you can tell from my accent, I'm Singaporean, so it makes sense to be back in Singapore. And the development team is spread across China, Singapore, and Spain. And we have advisory from, for example, in the construction industry, because today's topic is mainly about smart cities. And so, for example, our advisory team includes Professor Wang Chen from the School of NUS Construction. Now, for the next slide, I'm just going to go to the, I'm going to play a quick video. Instead of me talking about our stuff, maybe a quick video would just walk you through what we do.
Every day, our built world produces a vast amount of data, yet our day-to-day inspections still rely on paper, images, and spreadsheets, all fragmented across different devices and platforms. It is often worked on linearly and manually by individuals and not collaboratively in teams. Vox is on a mission to create a new kind of collaborative platform that gives data spatial context, empowering teams to work better together faster, breaking down data silos, and integrating disconnected data sources into one cohesive, visual, and intuitive workspace. This is made possible by creating a digital feedback loop of capture, analyze, and action. Using drones, laser, or handheld scanners, we create digital twins of the physical world. With point cloud processing techniques, we automate inspections such as quality assurance, quantity estimations, and progress monitoring. Beyond point cloud analysis, our platform tracks defects, rectification, progress. With the Vox app, your field workers can action on the issues discovered and ensure that the right procedures are taken using checklists. And when they encounter a hard problem, an expert is just a call away. Vox empowers your teams to capture, analyze, and take action so that your projects are compliant, on budget, and on time. Welcome to the future of work.
Okay, so let me just click again. Yeah, so the genesis of how we started the whole journey, really it's about, when we look at the world around us, the world around us is actually very contextual and it's very spatial. But yet, when we interact with data, most of the data that we interact today, it's mainly text, pictures, video at most. And so we are being force fit into a screen size or a form factor that really is quite unnatural to the human, to the context around us. So what we're trying to do here is to build a system or a platform that allows us to capture the contextual information and then at the same time put it out in a native 3D format that allows us to drive collaboration, visualizations, and of course, as with all B2B applications, the importance of intelligence. Now, our first wave of people who are using it is really the frontline. We call it the frontline teams because the frontline teams are the first people that really is being exposed to the contextual and the spatial world out there. So that's wait a minute. Yep. So that's in terms of the genesis of how we get started. Now, in terms of where do we land up in terms of scenarios that we land? We land in a few scenarios. For example, in the building sector, we land into life site management. So we have customers who are using our software right now to do project management, to do defects management in the life sites environment. At the same time, we also have the right side of the slide is blocked. Yeah, I'm not sure why. Okay, I think that's, let me just move back up. Is it better now? Okay, cool. Now, in the live, so the second part, the second scenarios that we cover is that when you identify the defects, how do you solve those problems? So having a remote assistance, so having an app that allows you to connect to the remote experts in the background, that's the second scenarios that we do. So our app supports both the phone as well as all the AR glasses that's out there that allows you to give you a spatial context of what you have. The third thing that we have right now is also the autonomous quality inspections module. And this really is in partnership with BCA as well as Soybill and IMDA. Because last year, as part of the NIC challenge, we actually won a finalist for the 7 challenges. And so out of that challenges, right now what we're solving for is actually being able to take in point cloud data from, for example, in a precast production floor, and then using autonomous detection methods as well as intelligence to then detect all the defects accordingly, automatically. So that's what we call we're using that for the quality inspections. And of course, the last part of our module is really the intelligence. Now, having as we talk about smart cities and smart communities, having ability to then take in those data and then analyze it and speed up those actions. I call it the new management Kanban. In the production world, Kanban actually is being used to manage your production flow. In our case, really, it's the new in a digital twins world, using a management Kanban to then allows you to actions upon your decisions. That's a critical part for us. So the next part of how do we do it from a technology point of view? So the first part is the ability to capture. Now, the ability to capture consists of our phones, consists of, for example, a laser-based capturing devices, or RGB with a depth sensor camera, or even a drone that allows you to capture all this so-called data in a real-life environment with context. The next thing is that we actually have a canvas that allows us then to suck in those data and then do analysis on top of that. And then because we are native to our 3D data processing, so we use technologies such as Open 3D, as well as the point cloud library, as well as Open Computer Vision libraries out there, where we suck in these data, and then based upon the scenarios itself, we do all this analysis. The last thing is, after you capture, you analyze, the most important thing for most organizations is the ability to take actions. And this is where the Vox app comes into play. Now, having the Vox apps that allows folks to capture issues, manage tasks, do inspections, and as well as having AR-based sort of expert sort of meetings, that's important, because that allows the organizations to close the loop in terms of what they see, the issues that they face, and then more importantly, the ability to action upon those things to drive productivity. So how does the organization do today? Most of the time, the first thing they start from is to establish a digital workflow. Now, a lot of organizations today, when they first start, they think digitalization is a huge thing. In fact, when we engage with a lot of smart cities partners out there, most of the smart cities partners, they have the great framework, but most important, the most critical thing then is how do you take in those data and provide the lowest cost of acquiring data. And so, of course, having an IoT solution, having an autonomous solution is great, but that requires a fair amount of upfront investments. Now, for most organizations, the biggest investments for them right now is the people. And so the ability for us to say, now go to your existing people who works for you. Now, how can we make sure that we provide them a tool that's really easy to use for the frontline people, that caters for their safety, at the same time allows them to suck in those data and then push it back to this the whole platform for the smart city framework. So that's what we do. The digital workflow allows organizations, teams, not big department, not big organizations, but department to start on their digital journey very quickly. And the second thing that the other thing that they do is securing helps for technical experts. I mentioned this before. After you identify problems, based on our findings of our customers, from the time they identify a problem to the time they solve a problem, that's critical, especially when it comes to, for example, if you have huge machinery. So having the ability to just call on your experts at a click of the button, and more importantly, allowing the experts to see and have the spatial context to what they are facing, what the frontline the employees are facing. That's critical. So that's what this module is about. Of course, the last thing is that having the ability to have the quality inspections. I spoke about this earlier, whereby, for example, you are seeing here the rebar in a precast environment, the ability to extract data, and then more importantly, very quickly, automatically identify those defects and then solving those defects issues in the production line. Now, centralized project management, this is our Vox Hub. whereby through a click of the mouse, you can see the entire, the status of the entire project, as well as how you're managing the entire, be it a project, or be it the environment, or be it a machine. Of course, being a native 3D data, our advantage is that we are taking in data that's already natively 3D. So the ability to then turn it into a digital twin and then provide this on a basis. What you're seeing here is not video feed in the center pool. It's not a video feed. It's actually digital twins of the environment. So this is a project that we are working with, especially in Hangzhou, where they are managing this they're managing the digital twins scenarios. So the provincial level, they roll out this various form of management console. And so the ability to take those data, incorporate into a digital twin, and then at the same time, make it actionable. So from a simple drag and drop of a process flow, you could change the way and optimize the way you manage the entire, the project itself. So that's critical. So that's taking visualizations and intelligence to the next level. Now, industry applications, we talk about constructions, we talk about facilities management, we talk about smart cities operations and maintenance, and also for industrial manufacturing. Anything that you start off with a 3D design, and then you want to manage it and maintain it and operate it and work together, that's the scenarios that we focus on. Some of the case studies we have, it's a good thing we started in China and we're coming back to Singapore. And so we actually have quite a few customers that we work deeply with. So for example, in this instance, I'm just going to point to the Chengdu case. In Chengdu, there's a new CBD zone being set up in Chengdu as a new financial center for the west side of China. And so that particular development itself is using our platform to manage, to highlight, to escalate defects, to train the frontline workers, and more importantly, to use it as a project view to manage the entire development end to end. So that's really, it's an example of how using a frontline tool that allows teams to start the process journey very quickly, and then build on top of that as they take in more of the data and the 3D world to make it an end-to-end holistic management platform. Yep, that's us in short. That's my email and my LinkedIn account. So if anyone that's out there that would love to connect and find out how we can partner, love to get in touch. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alan, for sharing how businesses can improve their frontline workers inspection, by capturing and analyzing all of their workflow in one single platform, through adopting box solutions. So now it's a bit overrun of time, but let's move on to the final segment of the day, Q&A, networking time. So please feel free to put up any questions on the chat box and we will read them out.
Anton, can I start? I think there's a question that's directed to us here, Isabel.
Yes.
From Roger. Probably I'd like to answer Roger first. Also, instead of typing in, because I think we need more background of what your company is doing. If it's just a basic, shuttle bus catering service, I believe the local already have that. And because our island is not very big, it's 3 times the size of Sentosa, and so far we have developed more than 50% of it. So basically, each of the major, they will say condo project, there is a major kindergarten there to cater to the surrounding neighborhood. So the distance between each of the kindergartens or schools is not a lot, and many of the Chinese also drive. So basically, there is also their own local school bus system. So we'll need to know more about your company, what you're doing. If it's just basic school bus service, then I think it's very difficult to fight the Chinese local low-cost competition. But if there are more to it, that's why I said I will need to understand a bit more of your company, what actually you cater to. Feel free to contact us. I know I don't want to take all the time here. I think there are a lot of questions, other questions. So feel free to contact us later if you are still keen. Thank you.
Okay, I think let's wait for a while to see if there are any questions, for each of the presenters.
Actually, I have questions for one of the presenters. Since you know, take some of your time here. Yeah, the last presenter, Vox, Ellen, right? I quite keen to know why do you shift back from China back to Singapore? And of course, you are Singaporean and I understand where you're coming from, but do you all still have ongoing projects and China team there? Or whether you are still keen to do more projects in China?
Yes, Isabel. In fact, I was about to contact you after this meeting. Yes, we do have quite a few projects going on in China right now. So we have a team here in China now, and so we have projects going on in Hangzhou, going on in Wuhan, Chengdu, etc. And I don't have anything in Nanjing right now, so I would love to connect with you quickly.
Thank you. Because as I mentioned, our whole project is still ongoing. Construction at different phases for different kind of projects. And of course, we are doing smart construction projects as well. I mean, it's a mandatory for the China government, as you know nowadays, that it's increasingly all projects have to be smart, smart construction. Yeah. So I think there are a lot of opportunities for us to collaborate. So I'd love to work together and follow up with you later on.
Yep.
Great.
Love to.
Yeah. I think, Isabel, you can connect with all of the presenters as well, since I'm sure there are a lot of relevance in terms of their solutions and how they can be a part of the Nanjing project. I'm sure they will be interested to discuss with you. All right. Okay, we have a question to Ellen. Ellen, would you explain if you can have data storage secrecy for a client by having it stored on site? And if yes, how would it be ensured?
Yeah, that's a very cloud-based question. Every cloud provider, every time we go in, they always ask the same questions. Yeah, so as you can imagine, most, especially state-owned enterprises, especially sensitive organizations, for example, they are very concerned about data privacy, and they're very reluctant to put everything on a cloud-based network. And so for us, the way we engage is that we, as far as possible, we have both for example, within China, we use Aliyun, and so that is a China-based platform with the data servers stored locally within China, and so we hope to provide them with the ease of use there. Now, in terms of how we position the customers, we typically pitched it to such that most of the time we do it on a cloud. Only if, for example, if the customers is very, very hypersensitive, then we try to work out a sort of a customized solution where they store on site. But most of the time, we tend not to encourage people to do anything on site because being a SaaS platform, being a cloud-based platform, anything that is stored on site just means a lot more work and a lot more retracing after that, especially for data accuracy and especially when they apply algorithms. So that's how we do it. We tend to go in and strongly encourage folks. So for example, as a cloud provider, we do need to make sure that we're okay with all the data privacy law. So for example, we actually have a customer who is trying to use us in London right now, and so that requires us to pass the DTE policy grade. And so as a provider, what we do is that we try to make sure that we pass all the grades, at the same time working closely with the customers to identify the needs, or to move, as far as possible, move them away from the idea of having data on site.
Right. Thanks, Ellen, for answering the question. Kanwa, I hope Ellen has answered your question. And yeah, Kanwa replied, thanks. I think we are a little bit overrun, and I think you guys did a great presentation, and I'm sure if they would like to connect you, they will get back to you after this webinar. So let's move on to the last part and close it out. And we'd like to hear from the attendees, and we'll appreciate if you could scan the QR code and leave us a valuable feedback. And if you are a startup, we would like you to be part of us by joining as an ACE member, so that we will invite you to more of such event in the future. And we hope you have enjoyed the event and have gained some important insights in the world of smart cities technology. So the next Digital Transformation Exchange series will be on sustainability theme. So please follow us at our social media platform and keep a lookout for our upcoming events. And with that, thank you all for joining us today. Thank you to the presenters. Thank you, Isabel. And we hope to see you at our future events.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you,
Thanks,
Abe.
everyone.
Thank you.
Have a nice
Thank you.
weekend.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.